Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Podar International School CBSE Powai, a hearty welcome to each one of you, and we are extremely happy to have the enthusiastic set of parents for the academic year 2017-2018. Before we begin today's program, may I request you all to put your phones on silent mode, please? Thank you very much. Now we have the traditional and auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati. May I now request our principal, Mrs. Rachna Lakshmi Narayanan, to light the lamp. Thank you, teachers. May I now request our principal to brief our parents about how things work in PIS CBSE.
A very warm welcome to all my parents present here today. At the outset, I would like to thank all of you for having spared your valuable time to come in today. Let me take you through a brief presentation at how things work at PIS CBSE Powai. Post this presentation, we will have a question answer session. Any queries can then be put forward. I think the virtue of punctuality is something which we have all always carried forward. Let me just first tell you the CBSE abbreviation stands for Central Board of Secondary Education. It is having its head office at Delhi, and it has more than 1 lakh schools running in India and abroad. It follows the NCERT curriculum, and CBSE has been in existence for almost decades now. Frequently, CBSE brings about changes, and in 2009, there was a new system of CBSE introduced which was called as the CCE, which means Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation. Before we go on to what it is, I would just like to take you through what we insist on when a child comes to us in the CBSE. Punctuality is something which we all need to keep, as you all can all see, and I'm very happy that most of you are in before time. So the school begins in the morning and in the afternoon. We have 2 shifts. We expect a child to be inside at 7 a.m. in the morning shift and at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon shift. Even a minute's delay, we will be requesting the parent to take the child back home. I know that these babies are coming to us from senior KG, where their timings were 8 o'clock, and it will be a challenge for the parents to bring the children in the morning, because keeping them awake or making them get ready for school at 7 means starting as early as 5:30 in the morning. So it will take a few days by the time the children get used to it. But if you're going to avail the school transport, you will not prefer to miss the school bus. One thing which CBSE is very particular about, and we at our school are also very particular about, is 80% attendance. Till 8th standard, CBSE does not have any detention policy unless the child is falling short of 80% attendance. Same way, we also follow minimum 80% attendance is mandatory to get promoted to the next class. Other than that, nothing else can detain. Why I'm insisting on this is, the children have come from a Montessori system of education to a regular schooling now. CBSE is your board of choice. We need to follow this. Invariably, since there is not much of examination system in the first and second, parents tend to take holidays, and they have their own holiday calendar, and they do not bother about the holiday calendar which is released by the CBSE. We will be very soon on the first day of April telling you what is the holiday calendar, but for the information of everybody here, the school begins on 6th of April, closes on 29th, that is a Saturday, 29th April for summer vacations, and then we start again on the 15th of June. So you have almost 40 days to have a vacation with your children. Mandatory attendance on the last working day and the first working day. Uniform, yes, children coming already from PJK have been following a dress code. We have a dress code which needs to be followed. There is a school transport available, and it is on first come, first serve basis. It is an optional service being provided so that parents can send the child safely in the school bus to the school. So there are certain norms which are being set, and all of us need to follow that. There is a dispersal system in place, which I'll be taking you through, how the children come down and where you need to pick up your children when the dispersal happens. There is also a leave procedure. And then we have the school private transport as well as the walkers. That's the school uniform, what you see on the screen. This is the regular school uniform, what they wear. And this is the PE uniform, the physical education uniform. Where do we get it? That's the screen. I think all of you might have picked up a circular also, which takes you through online procuring of school uniform and books. The uniform, the PE uniform has to be worn. Those are the timings of the 2 shifts. If your child comes to us in the morning shift, the timing is 7 to 12:15 and then 12:30 to 5:45. It is Monday to Friday only. Saturdays are non-working till primary level, that is till class 5th. Unless the school has an upcoming program or a practice session, then an advanced circular is sent to all of us, and then we keep the school. Otherwise, there is a break time of 15 minutes, as you can see, 8:55 to 9:10, and another break in the afternoon for the afternoon session, 2:45 to 3. I do understand 15 minutes is a very short time. Children are not able to complete the lunch. Children are supposed to be eating their own lunch. That is what we expect. Generally, the next period, that is the period after the break, the teacher gives them a 10 minutes grace time to finish the lunch. Strictly vegetarian food is allowed in the tiffin. We have children from all religious communities, so we do not encourage non-vegetarian. Even eggs are not allowed. Please ensure that you send only vegetarian food in the child's tiffin, something like a dry snacks, because any which ways the morning shift child is going to be back home by maximum 1 o'clock, so they can have whatever food they want. We will be sending out a circular. We have 5 days, and what is expected for the child to carry in the tiffin, we will be sending. It is for the parents to pack the tiffin and send. The school has a canteen facility, which is again optional. We do monitor the food of the canteen also, but as a parent, I would encourage children to carry their lunch to school. The leave procedure, minimum 2 days. I hope parents on this side, am I obstructing? Sir. Two days leave, the diary note is enough. There is a page in the diary, page number 27, which has the leave application format. You just need to fill it up. Addressed to the class teacher. Anything more than 2 days has to be addressed to the principal on an A4 size paper, preferably handwritten or even computer with the signature of the parent, and sent through your ward to the principal's office. Now it goes to the class teacher. She then signs it and sends it to me. What happens generally is, leave, as I said, is not by virtue of right. It has to be applied for, and if you are aware that your child is not going to come, for any specific reason, if the child is sick, post coming to the school, please send a medical certificate and the leave application. I would request all the parents, do not apply for leave through the between us. The reason, we recently had our CBSE inspection, and the inspectors were into the school. I think most of my parents here know. The children were given off when we were having a CBSE inspection. CBSE insists on maintaining hard copy records. Even though my teachers have a punch-in biometric system, I am expected to have a muster for their signature. So my request to the parents is, send in a hard copy of the leave application, which the teacher has to maintain a record for minimum 3 months. So please send that. We acknowledge the leave in the diary. If it is addressed to the principal, I sign, and the original goes to the teacher, and the Xerox copy goes back to the parent. So please send a hard copy of the leave application. As far as the PE uniform is concerned, class 1 and 2 has only indoor sports. We do not send them outdoor. So they will have 3 PE periods in their timetable, 2 block periods and then a single period. During the PE periods, they are expected to wear the PE uniform, the grey one which I had shown you previously. And all other days, whether it is yoga, aerobics, those days also they wear the PE uniform. Other days when they have regular classes, they are expected to wear the blue uniform. So minimum 2 sets of PE uniform and 2 sets of the school uniform are recommended. Also, I would like to add, if you've seen, how many of you have already started buying the school uniform? Through the online? Yes. So you would have seen that there is a sweater, blazer and a sweater. Again, it's optional, but my suggestion, since it's a centrally air-conditioned school, we do maintain the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius, but child has a different body temperature. My request will be, please buy those sweaters which are available. There are no sweatshirts. Pan-India, all CBSE schools or all Podar schools have the same jersey. Please procure it before it goes out of stock. The child will be needing in the classroom on a regular basis. Now, what is CCE all about? The Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation System looks forward to, as per the NCF, National Curriculum Framework, which was introduced in 2007, after which 2009 another new format has come in, which talks about the holistic development of the individual. When we are talking of an individual today, we know that the child has to in future go abroad, appear for interviews, go through various forums. So it gives equal importance to both oral testing as well as written testing. The CCE is majorly started for the reason to take away the pressure of the examinations. I do again insist, yes, January 31st, 2017, CBSE has gone back to the board examination way, but that is applicable from class 6th upwards. Till class 5, CBSE gives this liberty to the schools to carry out assessments as per the convenience of the school. So what happens? We do the continuous comprehensive evaluation, which means no examinations in class 1 at all. There are continuous assessments. We are not going to say there is an exam, because I don't want my children to be burdened. I don't want parents getting that exam phobia and passing it on to the children. So what we do is a continuous assessment process where you people will never come to know when the assessment happened. So it goes on a regular basis. These are the reasons for it. Makes evaluation a continuous process. Also, this is in sync with the Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, which says every individual, there are 8 ways of learning. Some of us are kinesthetic learners, some of us are visual learners, some of us are auditory learners, some of us are very good at speaking. So I give 60% importance to oral assessments and 40% to the written assessments till class 1 and 2 level. Class 3rd onwards, then we start bringing in a bit of examination systems. There are 3 parts to the CCE. The first part is the scholastics, which we talk of academics. The part 2 consists of the co-scholastics. As the word says, it has to go in sync with the scholastics. And then we have the co-curricular. What is scholastics all about? These are the main subjects which your child is going to study. English, the first language of the school. Hindi, the second language of the school. Till date, if your child is going to be with us till 10th standard, the second language in the board exam is going to be Hindi. Then we have the mathematics. EVS till class 5. So class 1 and 2, yes, the child is going to study EVS, which is an equal mix of science and social sciences. We have computer science. The computer science is not per se a theoretical subject. It is more of hands-on ICT, information and communication technology integrated. That means lot of hands-on work in the computer lab. So this period generally happens in the school computer lab. I think when you people walked in, there was a PPT running on the infrastructure of the school. CBSE has 2 fully equipped computer lab, Wi-Fi enabled. So a lot of work goes on in the computer lab and children go to the lab for their computer period. Then the third language, since we are in Maharashtra, the third language till 2nd standard is Marathi. Class 1 is going to only do oral Marathi for the 2 terms. The first term Marathi is only about learning certain poems, colors, names of the colors and names of the flowers in Marathi. Term 2 starts with the alphabets, the syllables of Marathi in oral, and in 2nd standard, we start with the written work of Marathi. The reason being, we presume that children coming from different backgrounds, different schools follow different system of education. Though majority of my parents now are PJK, we also have children coming from other parts of the country. So the Montessori system does not go much into the second language teaching. I do know that the senior KG curriculum, they have learned Hindi also. So, but we start from the scratch in Hindi. And those who know Marathi, they know that Marathi and Hindi are almost similar, especially when writing, matra ka farak hai. Choti e ki aur badi e ki matra alag hai. So children get confused. So what we do is writing of Marathi only starts in the late end of the second term of first standard, or generally in the first term of second standard. So we start with Hindi, yes, we start with the basics of Hindi. Slowly, within a month's time, we start with the actual Hindi of writing the statements and, opposites and things like that. This scholastic domain is assessed on a 9-point grading scale. That means the marks are not allotted. It is only grades which are allotted on the paper. In fact, we are linked. All of you are aware that this is one of the Podar schools. Podar is a chain of schools, 97 across the country, out of which, as on date, there are 60 CBSE schools. So there is a PIC team, the Podar Innovation Center, which looks into the development of the curriculum. So what happens, our worksheets and all are coming from there. We also do not follow the system of putting a cross if a child goes wrong. Invariably, when you will see the corrections done by the teacher, any mistakes are always circled. Psychologically, we feel that a cross gives a negative impact to the child's mind. So we generally use a pink pen. We never use a red pen for correction. And if the child has made a mistake, even up to 5th standard, it's only circled by the teacher. It will help you to understand when the notebooks start coming home. So it is graded or assessed on a 9-point scale. That's the 9-point scale. That means any child who scored between 91 to 100 gets an A1 grade. I don't think you need to click the pictures. Post this, we will put up the presentation on the CBSE, our school website also for future reference. So 91 to 100, all those children who are in that range gets a grade of 10. That is how the 9-point scale goes. Till date, I've hardly ever seen any of my children touching that. 1 and 2, you can forget. Most of my children are always in that higher grade. The co-scholastic part of it, these are the traits which we assess in the co-scholastic part. Courteous, confident, neat turnout to the school, regular and punctual, shows initiatives, displays good conduct, care and respect for their own and others' belongings. Please note down, this is assessed on a 5-point grading scale. That means we give equal importance to this, and throughout the year, it is not one-time assessment. Throughout the year, the teacher keeps observing the child, and twice in a term, this grading is done, and you get it in the form of a report card. The co-curricular activities which are provided, we have a multi-purpose activity area, which most of your children have already seen being in PJK. We conduct yoga, music, aerobics, and dance under the co-scholastic. Again, this is assessed on a 5-point scale. I would again reiterate, we do not assess them on a particular date. It is a continuous assessment throughout the year. So when they have a regular timetable, they will have 3 PE periods, 1 period of yoga and aerobics, where half the class does yoga, the other half does aerobics. Next week they swap. So every child takes part in yoga as well as aerobics. Same way, music and dance is given alternately. A class of 42, that's my class size, is divided into 2. Half the children go for music, half the children go for dance. Next week, they swap their places. So it is just for us to identify the talent and encourage co-scholastic activities among students. We are not here building A.R. Rahmans or Kamal Hassans or anything. We are just looking for encouraging the children to have an interest in co-scholastic activities. The indoor PE program for the students till class 2nd, as you are all aware, till date we do not have a sports facility within the school complex. So as per the management's policy, class 1 and 2 does not go outdoors like class 3 upwards. They go to various play areas in and around Powai. For example, the cricket children go to the Norita ground and all, but that happens from class 3 upwards. Class 1 and 2 have PE periods in the school where we give them the gymnastics, karate and chess. Once they move to third standard, fourth standard, they will get table tennis as an indoor game. So all the classes, all the students, it's not optional or choice. It is on for every child. So they just divide the class. Half the class will do gymnastics, the other half does karate. Next week they swap. The chess periods again, there are 3 PE periods in their timetable every week. That's the 5-point scale for all these co-scholastic activities as well as co-curricular activities. Grade A stands for 4.1 to 5 and the E stands from 0 to 1. Now what is the assessment pattern like? In class 1, this if you can look, this is a grade 1 assessment pattern. The CBSE has 2 terms. The first term begins in the month of April, ends in September. Then post Navratri, the second term begins in October, goes up to March. The school closes by the 3rd week of March and then the new session again begins in April. So when we have the first term running from April to September, what you see here, RW, that is revision worksheet. There are 4 revision worksheets in every subject. 4 revision series are carried out in each term. So a total of 8 revision worksheets go. These are assessments which are carried out in school. As a parent, how do you know any assessment is going to happen? In the diary of the student, you will start getting revised so-and-so chapter. The moment this thing starts coming regularly, it is an indicator for all of us that an assessment is about to happen in the school. All other oral assessments are a continuous process. On a regular basis, it go on. If a child is absent for an oral assessment within 5 working days, the teacher will repeat, because in a class of 42, the assessment is not going to happen on one day. Oral assessment takes at least 2 to 3 working days. So if a child is absent on Monday, the teacher will conduct the assessment on Tuesday or Wednesday. But a written assessment, if missed, is like a board exam. So if they miss it, they will not be allowed to write again. But if missing a written assessment is on grounds of medical, averages based on the previous performance are given. If for any other reason the child has taken leave, we will be marking the child absent, and that will definitely bring down the overall grades of the child. Does not mean we are going to detain the child, but yes, the continuous assessment process will be affected. Why? Because the child never attended the school for us to carry out the assessment. You cannot teach at home and then we do the assessment. The methodology of teaching is more by learning in the classroom, by being physically and mentally present. So another request to the parents, please do not teach. That is our job. Please monitor your child. How do you know what is the teaching happening? End of every month, a sheet will be released telling you what are the portions which have been covered in the class. That's it. You don't have to get an advanced information that this will be taught. The calendar goes, at the end of every month, one circular will be released saying that English, what has been completed, Hindi, what has been completed, for you to know what are the portions covered. So these are the revision patterns. 50% depends on the first term, 50% depends on the second term, taking together. These revision worksheets are revision tests kind of things throughout the assessment. In addition to that, there is a lot of written assessments and worksheets which happen in the classroom. In grade 2, parents sitting here who are here for class 2, if you look at the second term, that is when 2 cycle tests come in. Why? Because in 3rd standard, the child is going to write a term exam. So how do we get them used to this? Term 2, in the first term, you go the same way. Revision worksheet 1, 2, 3 revision worksheets go till 4th. Second term, there will be 2 revision tests or cycle tests, one in the month of December. All this information will be there in the diary itself, and the other one by the end of March, the 2nd or 3rd week of March. I would also like to inform all of you, class 1 and 2 has a mother-teacher system. A mother-teacher means a teacher in the class who spends almost 6 out of 9 periods in a day with the child, knowing the child in and out, teaching English, EVS and mathematics. Hindi is taught by Hindi teachers. Then they have the physical education teacher, art and craft teacher. Till 2nd standard, we follow the mother-teacher system. So when a child moves from class 2 to 3, 2 major transitions in their life. One, subject teachers start teaching in 3rd standard, and also the examination system. So to make this transition smoother, Class 2 in the second term writes the revision test, the cycle test, so that they get used to sitting at one place for 1 hour 20 minutes to write the test. These test portions will be given in the form of a portion paper, date sheet will be given almost 15 working days in advance. Also the blueprint, the sample question paper will be given as to how it is going to come. Till third standard, any revision, any assessment is always done in the question paper itself. There is no separate answer sheet. So that means the assessments are purely objective. They are writing in the question paper itself. English, one of the languages which I think most of our children are very well versed in. These are some of the tools of assessment of English. During the course of the academic session, we will be assessing, and few of the tools which we use for oral assessments, reading comprehension, grammar activities, speech, recitation, hints developed, a guided story, points are given and the child writes a story around it. These are some of the ways of assessment of English. What you see here is just a sample rubrics. If I am assessing English, say for example recitation for 5 marks, how do those 5 marks split further? The pronunciation carries 1 mark, the fluency in the language carries 1 mark, the confidence of the child carries 1 mark, the expression another mark, and then the memorization, what they have learnt and come, carries 1 mark. This is just a sample of these tools. If any of these tools are used, each one of them has a rubrics and the teachers assess them based on that. I think already PJK, senior KG children are aware of this symphonics program. Yes? Parents? Yes. Symphonics helps us to clear our phonetics. You hear the sound and you're able to understand. Till class 3, we do follow the symphonics program. In fact, most of the activities in class 1 and 2 are inclined towards symphonics. That is why the English timetable of PIS CBSE Powai has 11 periods in a week. Too much of stress on that, because we feel that this is the age where child can hear sounds and develop that language. These are some of the activities, lot of playway activities done by the teachers as well. Hindi, which I feel in the last 3 years here in Maharashtra seems to be a foreign language. Parents are scared and children are equally scared. But here we have children doing wonderfully well. We have in fact a Hindi Saptah. हिंदी दिवस साल में एक बार आता है 14 सितंबर को. हमारे यहाँ हिंदी सप्ताह मनाया जाता है, जहाँ पूरे सप्ताह सारी एक्टिविटीज़ असेंबली से लेकर सुविचार से लेकर सब कुछ हिंदी में किया जाता है. एंड चिल्ड्रन फ्रॉम क्लास 1 to 8 एवरीबडी गेट्स टू come and speak in the assembly. So Hindi, this is one rubrics of assessment. Reading for 10 marks if I have to do. That's just an example. We are not going to do A. ये सिर्फ first month में 10 दिन के लिए होता है. So when we do that, pronunciation, because हिंदी में मात्रा पे बहुत जोर होता है. So pronunciation carries 3 marks. 3 marks for vocabulary, audibility, whether the child is able to speak loudly and clearly, and fluency in that carries 2 marks. This is just a sample of how assessments are done in Hindi. Most of us have a maths phobia. How many of us here have a maths phobia? At least I know. I had this because we were expected, the teacher used to work out the problem in the class and we were expected to copy it. You know, here, mathematics is taught by teaching the activity first and then teaching the logic behind it. So we do not do addition, subtraction directly into the notebook. We do activities with certain manipulatives used. We have a kit and we have the entire staff trained by the Maths Ramanujam Foundation. So they come, conduct workshops, and teachers use these kits for teaching mathematics. So if I have to teach multiplication, which is nothing but subsequent addition, progressive addition, children are made to do the activity, understand the concept, and then they do the questions in the class. This is a group activity generally because collaborative learning is very much encouraged. And this is assessed if there is an activity in the class. This is the rubrics of assessment. Content, what they are going to deliver at the time, whether they have understood, carries 3 marks. If you look at the last pointer there, Viva means if there is a group of 10 children doing an activity, we need to find out whether learning has happened for all 10 of them. So teacher in turn asks them questions based on the activity to done. Sometimes we have active learners and we have passive learners. Some children will be very smart doing the physical activity, the others will be just sitting and watching. But we need to know whether the child has learnt or not. So this Viva, which is for 4 marks out of 10, helps us to know whether the concept has gone inside the child or not. EVS, as I said, again, there is a lot of group work. Lab assessment does not mean they go to the lab. Any of those activities which need to be shown are demonstrated by the teacher in the class. And then group activities, recently I think they did a topic of different kinds of houses in second standard. And I could see a wonderful display of igloos to stilted houses to everything. So the group project, children bring the material to the school, they assemble the project. In first standard, generally, the projects are individual projects because encouraging a group project, what happens is if the child is not able to complete in school, then it becomes difficult for the parent to take the child to the other parent's house and do the activity. So generally, class 1 will do individual projects. Whenever they do group projects, the material is to be brought to school and they are given time in the school to assemble the project. Again, Viva is very, very important there for us to understand whether learning has happened. The third language, as I just told you, class 1 and 2 has Marathi. Third standard upwards, we will be giving a choice in the third language. We will talk about it when your children come to class 3. First and second term in first standard will be orals. Class 2, first term will be orals and also a bit of writing starts and then full, it will be like third language is only taught 2 days a week. So the level of assessment will be obviously that. Hindi is taught as the second language means 5 days a week. As I already told you, English is almost 11 periods in a week. So Hindi is 5 to 6 periods. Third language always will be just 2 periods in a week. Art and craft, as I told you, this is another scholastic domain. Lot of art and craft activities are done in the school and we do assess them. This is one such example of the rubrics of assessment as to how art and craft is assessed. We do encourage dancing. We teach them folk dances, different types. We do not have, per se, classical training of dance in the school. Dance is a form of relaxing activity and encouraging and identifying for us that, okay, this child has the ability to pick up things. We do believe that every ABCD, anybody can dance. So that way we start with the basics, a bit of footwork. We do also have a bit of theory classes as to what are the typical dance forms in India, which state will have which kind of folk dance and all. Assessment throughout the year, no such previous information that throughout the year how the child has performed, how they have taken part in the annual day, that helps us to find out or do the assessment for the children. Music, we start with teaching the school song, the national anthem, and then slowly the Swaravali, and a bit of patriotic songs and all. We generally do not encourage dancing to the film songs or singing film songs at all in school. Patriotic songs, if they are from films, but they are clean patriotic songs, we do teach them that as well. Criteria of assessment, a child who's singing, whether they are able to pick up the notes. Not everybody is having a melodious voice, but then yes, everybody is allowed to have a music period and we assess them. Our children are going to move. They have not only moved from senior KG to first standard, they've also moved from the first floor of the building to the second floor. So the bag, that is one question which everybody is going to ask. How do we manage the bag weight? Be happy, your child will be carrying only the school bag with a tiffin box and a diary and a pencil box in that. All the books of the child will be kept in the school. There are open bookshelves provided at the back which are labeled. Children are encouraged to leave all the books in the school only when there is a homework. It will be written on that page, HA, home assignment, that book will go home. At the end of every term, these books will go home on fragmented basis, like two books per day, so that the bag again does not become heavy. So class 1 and 2, most of the books are always kept in school. Only when there are home assignments or in the weekend we have given some homework, that book only will go home. So the reason, one, we do not want parents to teach. The reason we send it home for you to know what your child has learnt in the last few days. So most of the learning happens in the school. Certain salient features of our school, I think most of us are already aware. For the new parents, Between Us is a portal which is provided. The moment you pay the fees, your number gets registered in this and you will get a link. This is a channel of communication between the teacher and the parent, even with the principal. Within 5 working days, we generally insist that the teacher has replied to any communication which has come on the Between Us. Please write to the teacher concerned. There is a drop box. You are expected to select the teacher. Generally, what happens, parents who are not aware of how this is, they will directly write without knowing. It comes to me directly. If you're writing to the administrator, it directly comes to the principal. Any messages which have to be sent to the specific teachers will be sent by selecting the appropriate teacher from the drop box and messaging to them. We also have an SMS service through the Between Us. Again, Between Us SMS comes via a gateway. So if a message has been sent in the morning, it might deliver to you only in the evening. It is not a direct messaging service. What I hear from most of the parents, we had sent a reminder message twice to the parents for today's program. But I got back from the parents that many of you have not received it. I would request my IT team to look into it, why the message has not been delivered. And we do not get a delivery report also for us to know whether it has gone. Generally, common announcements of the school are put on the announcement portal. We all know Between Us is also in the form of an app. You can go to the Google Play Store and download the app. And on mobile, you can directly access the Between Us. We also send hard copies of the circular because for all classes, the moment the circular is sent, we put it on the announcement. Please check your wards bag for circular related to so-and-so. So this keeps us handy, and all of you can also always interact with the teacher on a regular basis through this. Already I have informed you, this year onwards, there is an online sale of books and uniform. So all of us can shop sitting at the comfort inside the houses. There are events like annual functions, sports day. This year, instead of the annual day, we had organized a unique program called the Bal Mela, 5 days of activity-based learning in the school, and parents were encouraged to come in and witness the events. We have generally field trips which are inclined towards educational learning outcomes. Earlier also we've said, we do not take children to Imagica or SL World or water parks and all. We would like to take them to places where the teacher can see that the child has a learning outcome. We have taken them to the traffic park. This year we had taken them to this Wonders of the World. Nerul has a park there, which has the 7 wonders. Tomorrow our children surely will be visiting all this globally. But when we took them there, they were able to identify the wonders. There was also a live active chess field there, and it was a wonderful learning experience. Also, peer learning happens when the children go together. In the ratio of 10:1, teachers go and the housekeeping staff also go with the children to ensure the safety and security. Integrated English program, though it is said to be an IE program, this is more of a holistic development of the individual. We do activities like joy of giving, all those things which will inculcate moral values among children, that sharing is caring. Lot of children are encouraged to bring old toys, and they prepare handcrafted items in the school, which we then take up for sales during the PTMs. Parents are requested to come and buy, and all what we collect, we give it away to charity, to NGOs which caters for the underprivileged children. So that is what is the main idea behind the integrated English program. 4 times in a year we have a mock fire drill. So far so good, very secure and safe place. But every year we take the children through this routine so that in case of an emergency, the children are aware which exit they will be taking. There are 2 nurses in both the shifts, so there is an MI room for immediate emergency. In case, this takes me on to the next thing, the school is an air-conditioned school. The night before, if your child is sick or having cold, please keep your child at home. We all know that the virus multiplies much faster in AC conditions. So if the child is already suffering from cold, it intensifies. In case the child falls sick after coming to school, the first thing which we do is give a call to the parent so that the parent is aware. In case if it's only a mild fever, and we take medical consultation from the parent. Only when the parent says this medicine can be given, we do. Otherwise, we take the child immediately to the Hiranandani hospital, request the parents to come there, and in case the child needs to leave the school, the gate pass is issued. So there are 2 nurses in both the shifts to take care of the medical emergencies in the school. The school also has counselors. These counselors generally help us in case we have children who need help. Children sometimes are hyperactive. There are some children who have learning difficulties. As and when identified, we carry out a very rigorous program, a school program, a home plan, as well as a back-end program, wherein all of us together try to do certain remediations if we identify children who need help. 4 times in a year, you will have the parent-teacher meeting. That is when you will be able to meet the subject teachers and see the worksheets and all the assessments of your child, discuss about their holistic development. In case you have an emergency and you need to meet the teacher, the only other way is to send a diary note or to send a between us message. Teachers, as per their timetable when they are free, they will be giving you an appointment on Saturdays to come and meet them. It is not going to be on a daily basis that parents can walk in and meet the teachers. Dispersal happens even at that time. Parents are encouraged to just pick up the child and go. There are 4 PTMs in a year. After every cycle test, after every this thing, it is marked in the calendar. Those are the days when parents can come and meet the teachers. And yes, to meet me, there is an open hour, Monday to Friday, 10 to 11. If you have any concerns relating to your ward, which you feel myself or the VPs are available, the school has 2 VPs, one in the morning shift and one in the afternoon shift as well. We also have a set of coordinators. Generally, if it is a minor concern, the coordinators address them. In case you think that something needs to be brought to my notice, then 10 to 11, Monday to Friday, any of you is most welcome. Please remember, this open forum is only to address your individual concern. No mass or group meetings are encouraged during that time. We always have the open house when the parents can come and meet the respective teachers. That is how the Between Us page looks in. You need to log on. Once you receive you paid the fees, you will receive your email ID gets into it. You will receive an automatic email with a password. You go in through this, and then you can be part of the PIS CBSE team. This is the floor plan. I would like to inform all of you, how do things happen on the 6th of April. On the 6th of April, as per the shift, you will be bringing in your children. Since all of you are new to the premises, first 2 days, you are allowed to escort your child to the classroom. You can take them on. As you can see, the classroom for class 1 and 2 are only on the 2nd floor. These are the sections there. We will be putting it up on display at the entrance and also in the corridors. You can take your child, drop them in the classroom, and you can come back at 12:15. In fact, not 12:15, 11:45, 12 o'clock. Between that time, we will allow the parents to start coming up to take their child back home. This is just an option. You want to drop the child in the school bus, since they are already PJK students, they are aware. We will have teachers at the reception to escort them up. But if you feel more comfortable, you can drop your child to the respective classroom. The teachers will have the sections ready at that time. You don't have to, we'll just get all the children seated. 10 minutes later, parents are requested to leave the campus. Then we do the section bifurcation. So that day afternoon when you come, you will be knowing which section your child is in, who will be the class teacher. The ID card, temporary ID card will be issued to your child. Second day, you are allowed to drop, dispersal. We will bring them down to the respective gates for you to come and pick them up. If your child is availing the school transport, then on the first day, either one of the parent is allowed to take a seat in the bus, take the child in the lap, and show the Didi the pick up and drop point. This I am informing for those parents who have joined new, because our bus route you will not be knowing the pick up and drop point. If you are already familiar with the bus pick up and drop, the child can themselves go in the school bus. There are teachers who are appointed for taking children to the bus. There are teachers who are appointed to take the children down for walkers dispersal. The inlets and outlets of the school will be informed on the first day. All the walkers' entries, generally incoming, everybody comes through the reception. No lift is allowed. Please understand, the lift is a common lift which is also going to the 4th floor, which houses a nursing college. Though we have attenders, we generally do not allow the children to use the school lift. School lift can be used in case of a medical emergency with a diary note written by the parent indicating for how long the child will be using a lift in case there is a medical emergency. Otherwise, we encourage the children to climb the stairs. That is one very good physical activity which most of us follow in the morning. With that, I come to the end of my presentation. The session is open for any questions if you have.
Good morning, ma'am. My question is, my child goes to daycare, so how does the procedure work? So do the teachers take them directly to the daycare, or how does it work?
Ma'am, you need to send us a note that the child is, it's daycare within the school campus?
Yes.
Then we will need a note from you on the first day when you are sending. We will see that the child is handed over to the daycare Didi. We will in fact inform the daycare Didi to come. Just like bus Didis come up to collect children bus-wise, they will carry a placard and the bus numbers are written. And the class teacher always has a placard saying section 1A, children follow the class teacher like a Pied Piper. So the daycare Didi will be called to come and pick up the children. Within the school campus, that's not an issue.
Very helpful, thank you.
Excuse me. How are the kids supposed to celebrate their birthdays?
Yeah, birthday celebrations, the diary and the opening circular will have a note, not more than 5 rupees of any chocolate of your choice. That's it. They are allowed to come in color dress, and maximum of 5 rupees is allowed. No encouraging of any distribution of any kind of gifts. That's it.
How is the sitting arrangement in the class?
Ma'am,
Like,
the classroom is a 40... Can we have that classroom slide there? Ma'am, classroom arrangement is rows and benches, rows and columns itself. There are 5 rows vertical. Vertically we have 4 this thing, and there are 5 benches in 1 row. So 2:2.
how much attention would be given to the last benches?
Ma'am, in class 1, and we also have a co-teacher. In fact, none of the CBSE schools around the country I have seen. We generally have 2 teachers throughout the day with the child. One is the mother teacher, which I told you, and then there is a co-teacher who assists the mother teacher to take care, especially when we are starting with the writing work. And the seating arrangement is always rotational. The children keep rotating. For example, first few days the seat will be allotted. 1 week the child is sitting in the front. Once the week is over, the first bench goes to the last and the children move forward. And once a month they swap places across also. That means the child should have a vision from all the sides. So what we do is row 1, 2, 3, 4, they exchange the rows. Once a month we alternate rows, and every week we circulate the seating arrangement. Fixed seats are allotted.
Is the child allowed to select who he wants
No,
to sit next
no.
to?
Seating partners are allotted by the teacher. 1-2 days we allow them. That comfort zone has to come in, because your child is going to move from 3 hours 15 minutes to a 5 hours 15 minutes school. So that much of empathy and compassion is very much there. But after, I don't see, in fact, I very rarely see children crying. We at CBSE believes that if a child is happy coming to school, learning is bound to happen. So let your child be is all I'm going to tell you.
And how many field trips are taken in first term and second term?
Pardon, ma'am?
How many field trips are taken?
1 field trip a year.
A year.
A year. Once a year, every class goes for a field trip.
Ma'am, about the uniform portal, the online portal, you mentioned that it's comfortable and convenient. I agree it's comfortable, but the convenient part can be a little debatable. There are no sizes. There are sizes mentioned, but there is no sizing chart when you try to buy a uniform.
Sir,
So,
I remember seeing a sizing chart which says 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yes,
Four-
but what size is going to fit my child? Is there a
4
way
is
to
the
try?
sign, but yes, also it is mentioned that I think I need to drop another SMS or reminder. I don't, admin team, there is a sizing part available in the school. So you can bring your child and try out. There is a trial room being created. You can try the size and then buy. But according to my observation in the last few years, 4 and 6 is all what class 1 and 2 requires.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I just wanted to check once that there are certain books that we have been asked to buy online. So do we need to buy that set of books, or after CBSE valuation, will there be an NCRT books that will
Ma'am,
be covered?
NCRT book CBSE is only, please, till class 8th, we will be following private publishers only. CBSE has nowhere said that using NCRT books are mandatory. The story came up that one school used a science book for teaching what is living and non-living. The standard of the book used said that if you want to learn about breathing and non-breathing, first observe a cat when she is alive, then suffocate a cat and let her die and then observe. So that school was penalized, and then in that all of us were like put into that box and said, please, the school should ensure the quality and content without harming any animals or sentiments of any community. So it is not compulsory to use NCRT books at all. The CBSE books, the private publishers which we are using, are developed on the lines of the CBSE curriculum only. NCRT books become compulsory only from class 9th upwards. So you will be going ahead with the Beanstalk publication, which is available online for buying.
Another thing that I wanted to ask was that during monsoon seasons, when the AC is on, your PE uniform, which is full pants, I'm talking because my child is a girl, instead of this thing, because it gets cold, is it all right if they can wear those pants and thing during those
Instead
those
of
days?
skirt?
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you look at the online this thing, there are stockings also available. In fact, there are cycling shorts also available. Pants also available for boys, not for girls. So what generally we allow is black leggings. Plain black leggings. In fact, in classes 3 upwards, when they go for the dance class, we insist that if the child is a girl child, should be wearing plain black leggings during the dance period. So if it's very cold, plain black leggings. Also, stockings are available there. I've seen the portal myself. But no pants, please.
And
Uniformity of the uniform goes away when they start wearing. And parents, please, I request all of you to buy sweaters. You are going to need it. No colored jackets are allowed. I have almost 500 collection of colored jackets lying in my school, which we confiscate and then give it under the joy of giving. Because nobody comes to take it back also. So it always goes to the charity. Yes,
And my
ma'am.
last question, when kids, get viral fever
Yeah.
or cold, like, a very bad cold, it takes generally 4 to 5 days to subside. For every such small thing, we don't rush to a doctor, So getting a medical certificate beyond 2 days is a bit of a...
Ma'am, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in case it's a medical leave, you need to substantiate with a medical certificate. Viral fever and all, generally 3 to 5 days is what it lasts. But wherever you are undergoing for a treatment, the prescription is enough for us. What happens generally is, I have received, even now on my table, I have applications. I have my uncle's wedding coming, 15 days of holidays, or I have to have quality time with my child. So I am going to fly away to Europe in the coming April month, because parent is getting a leave at that time. That is what we are trying to avoid. The learning is going to happen only when the child is physically present. So we try to minimize the leaves by not encouraging parents to take leave. I also understand, since your child is in first standard, there might be a sibling on the way. In those cases, as a special case, we also give that 1 month off to that child. But then it is for the parent to be in connect with other parents to know what is happening in the class. WhatsApp can be used in a very healthy manner. I know how it is being currently used.
So we can, in such cases, can we just write an application and send it along? Is that okay?
That's okay, ma'am. If the child has been ill, I think my teachers can also make out that the child is not keeping well.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in the portal, in the online site, they are giving for the boys trousers also in shorts also. So for first, second standard, do we need to buy a trousers also?
No, not necessary. But then
Okay.
again, I'm telling you, there are certain children who are weakly built up. The parent would want the child to wear a pant. From our end, it is till 5th standard shorts only. It is shorts only. But an odd case, what happens later? They will start wearing any fancy pants and saying, "Mujhe thand lagti hai," or the blue jeans which comes in, which is not allowed.
Morning, ma'am.
So, one second. This shop online is open throughout the year. So, once you feel that, yes, my child is feeling cold, you can always order a pant later. Yes, please.
Ma'am, just wanted to know what is the rationale for not following the NCERT books?
You're talking about the hardcore textbook?
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the NCERT textbook, at least as per my experience in the last 22 years, the NCERT textbook has an excellent language. And the curriculum is given in such a short and crisp manner that reading one line will not make the concept clear to the child at all. Somewhere the foundation has to be built. If you compare the size and content of the NCERT for one topic and vis-a-vis you compare it to a private book, any publisher, be it OUP or anything, the topic is explained in much more detail with lot of examples there. Till 8th standard, we are building the foundation of the child, which concepts will be required when they go to 9th and 10th. So somewhere we feel that hand-holding has to be done. Private publishers always aid the teacher and the student and the parent to use that. For every question in mathematics, at least in class 9th or class 7th, 8th, NCERT one question of one type only. That will not make me master the mathematics. I need to practice 20 more questions. Later, I'm going to refer to R.D. Sharma, R.S. Agarwal. Why do that? Till 8th standard, we have the best of the private publishers. We do that. Plenty of examples there. 9th onwards, we say buy NCERT and we also give them the list of optional books. A child who's aiming for a centum in mathematics has to pick up another reference book and do it. So till 8th, one book, any private publisher which the school follows is good learning for the child.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
While the parents are in the process of procuring the books and the school uniform,
Yes.
and the school opens on 6th of April, so can for the first few days they can continue with the senior KG uniforms while they get the new uniforms in place?
You think it's going to take a longer time for the things to be delivered?
Because the online portal says 10 to 15 days post ordering the books or the uniform.
So we are fearing that the delivery is going to take 10 to 12 days. If I give that option, I'll see 90% of them in that PJK and they'll be like walking on the floor. I would suggest precipitate the process as fast as possible. I think so. Anybody who's received the delivery already? How many days, sir? No, ma'am. When did you order and how many days did you receive it? So I'm hoping that the back-end team is going to precipitate everything much faster. One odd exception, we'll just meet that when we reach that. Yeah.
So my question gets added from his last question. My son is a new admission, so he has no senior KG uniform also. So that's okay. I'm sure teachers will manage.
You are coming new to the school.
Yes.
Welcome, sir. Yes.
Thank you. So first is anyways answered. The second one is since we are outside from Maharashtra, my son will be joining in 2nd class. So oral Marathi is okay, but written Marathi, I think the class teachers need to.
Please, we will see that your child is comfortable. We also understand children coming from across the country might not be knowing. Yeah. So we'll take our own sweet time. Don't worry on that.
And
there is no pressure as such.
Okay.
The only pressure is the pressure in the minds of the parents.
Yeah,
exam. हमने कहीं पे भी I never said the word exam at all. I just said assessments and assessments.
Right. Second thing is that you said, and it's a very good thing, I'm sure most of the parents would like, the bags will not have the books. But as a parent, we always, have a tendency, especially the mothers, to do the revision.
Sir, वही तो नहीं ये चाहते हम.
So
I don't want my mothers to get, pressurized to pressure the children. Sit and study. If it is required, as and when, need basis, my teachers take a call on that. Okay. In case there is a special case, again, that is to be dealt only when we are talking of that child. Okay. So there is no hurry. There is no, just let your child, first thing, let your child make that transition from outside Maharashtra to inside Mumbai, to a school which runs in 2 shifts, whichever shift your child has taken, getting up as early as 5:30. So books required will be sent when, I think ma'am can directly ask.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am, first of all. My main question is, we are applying for online uniform and books from your portal, but we are unable to log in first. So there is some problem in the port. Which I feel, I just want to ask, there is some vendor shops or something nearby
No,
the
ma'am.
area?
It is purely, I'll tell you what, every day between 9:30, if you picked up a circular from outside, please look into that where it clearly mentions 9:30 to 12:30, parents can come into the school, the admin team will help them to do the shopping online. So please come to the school. Days are also mentioned. If the date has already passed, you can still come. The school is working. There are admin staff seated there who will help you to do the shopping online. And any black shoes, if you notice, there are no shoes there on that. Any black shoes, preferably with Velcro. Do not give them lace shoes. Babies are very small. They will not know. Housekeeping staff is there to assist them. In fact, for every 2 sections, there is one Didi there. But it is very difficult for children to tie their laces. They trip and fall. So please initially buy plain black shoes. I also forgot to mention, no fancy haircuts, please. If your child is a girl child with hair longer than the shoulder, 2 plaits with a yellow hairband, I think you saw the dress there. 2 plaits, neatly pleated with yellow hairband and yellow rubber bands. If your child is a boy, not more than 2 inches long. I've generally seen class 1 and 2 coming with a Gajni cut, a Z, XY on the head. When I asked them, they said, Papa leke gaye the parlor, unhone kara diya. So please keep those fancy haircuts for your vacations, not during the school. Anything longer than 2 inches, first warning, a diary note goes to the parent, please get it done. Second, the second time it is repeated, we'll call the parent and say, please come and take your child home. So let us follow the norms which have been set.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a question.
Ma'am, mic a bit closer to your mouth. No. Yeah.
And one will be coming the first. The existing school ends on 20th of April. Okay. So how do we manage?
ICSE?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ma'am, just drop an application today itself or the first day or in the coming week, any time at the reception, mentioning the class of your ward, and just drop in an application saying the date of joining of your ward. This will help me to inform the class teacher that the child is going to join late. Sometimes it happens that it takes almost a month and we never come to know that the child is not going to come or either they are joining or not. So we'll allot the section, keep it ready. Whenever you come, the teachers, the first day when you come, the same rule applies. You just inform the front desk that you are a new parent, you will be allowed to bring your child up. Teacher will give you a time to come and meet them so that you can take the circulars which have been issued and whatever necessary education has happened, the learning has happened, we'll help you to catch up on that.
Yeah. And my younger one would have never learnt Marathi, so...
Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Ma'am, I said first 1 month is going to be all orals only. So I am aware that we get children from all different parts of the country, not even country, we get international students as well. So no issues.
Ma'am, can we do the learning part in advance? So can we, even on April 1st or 2nd, figure out what is...
Come again, sir, please.
You said we can figure out the learning parts after they join, after the April 20th. Can we do it in advance so that they can keep reading or
Sir,
doing whatever?
board exam, PhD, please leave the child alone. Learning part in advance. Already she's studying ICSE, no? Let them finish that. Please.
Hi,
Yes.
ma'am. Morning, sir. Yeah, hi. Ma'am, we are like...
Ma'am, ladies first, sir. Please wait.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we are like new admission to the school. We are moving from Pune to Mumbai. So my daughter, she's like in 2nd class. So I just want to ask, like, yesterday we were checking the uniform sizes and all. There was a size chart, but the waist size, if we check, it was not matching with the length. There was like, we were not able to actually match these length.
Ma'am,
and
if you can
waist.
spare today, you can go to the school. Sizes are available, samples are available. You can just check it out which size. The size tag is there, then you can go back and order online. So
Okay.
if you can just go into the school campus, we will have my AO, Mr. Sachin Lanjekar there. You can just check with the size what you would like to have.
Another thing, like we are moving, I mean, my daughter, we are moving in on 1st April.
Okay.
So people say like it will take 10 to 15 days for delivery. So if we
For the?
delivery of uniform and books, if we'll order on...
It's okay. You can send the child in a colored dress, but preferably with sleeves and all. This, it is cold in the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will be great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm in the same case as the other two. My children are now studying in Bangalore and we'll be shifting them here for the first time. One will be in first standard, another one will be in third standard. And their school ends there on 1st of April. So we'll come here on 2nd of April. And post that we have to buy their...
You do not have any contacts here whose contact address can be given to accept the delivery. It will just help to facilitate things better.
But what about sizing?
Sir, size, that's what I'm saying. Size 4 and 6 is generally what fits.
Okay, for the first. And,
for the third, I cannot take a guess on that. Okay. If you look at the, so I think they have also mentioned the size 32, 34 and all for the t-shirts. Okay. So that is how it goes. Okay. Till class 5th, class 3rd, size is generally 6 and then 8. Now it depends on the build of the child.
Okay.
Okay. Fine, sir.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So bus is going to be, starting from the first day itself, and we follow
the
same
morning,
route?
First day, we will not encourage the parents, at least the new parents, no. The old parents will continue to use. So if your child is already a part of the school transport via PJK and you are aware of it, most welcome, you can board the bus.
So it's the same bus route which is...
Sir, for that we have the transport team and the senior RTM, Mr. Rajesh Marathe. Post the session, you can have a talk with him. Because there have been some changes in the bus routes as well. Okay. So you need to talk to them.
Okay. My second question is, during, Jumbo Kids, we had this Facebook account where parents could check the pictures which were posted, what activities
So we have a Google
Plus,
a very active Google Plus page. We will be sending you. In fact, today also we'll just put up the this thing. You can look into all the activities which are done in the school are loaded on the Google Plus. You don't have to like my page to enter the page. You can just be there on that.
Great, thank you.
Comments, yes, we disable generally.
Great, thank you.
Ma'am, what is to be, what the food item is allowed in the tiffin box? You can just,
Pardon, sir?
What is the food item is allowed in the tiffin box?
Sir, we will be sending a food chart. I would suggest that you add it in the next PPT. The days are fixed. Mondays we'll say either 2 idlis with chapati. Please see that your child should be, I have seen tiffin boxes with 8 idlis being sent, 4 paranthas being sent for a 5-year-old child. So we will be sending a food chart and we encourage the parents. Sometimes I get this chart to aapne de diya, khana kaun dega? Khana parents denge, chart hum denge. So we generally, Fridays is a junk food day. That I know for sure. So my children love to come to school on Fridays because they'll have Maggie or something else in their tiffin. We will share the food chart. Yes, ma'am. That's what I said. Mr. Rajesh Marathe is here. Please address all your transport concerns to him.
Hi.
Welcome, sir. They were never resolved last year. Please meet him after that. Where exactly is your bus traveling? What is the route your child is taking? Morning, we are not allowing. Afternoon, if the bus gets delayed, school transport, sometimes it is on account of the traffic, especially the Gopal Sharma school buses coming that way, because that dispersal is same. So if the child is coming late by virtue of the school bus getting late, which actually strictly not allowed in the morning, because morning it hardly takes 10 to 15 minutes for the buses or anybody to reach the school. Afternoons, if it gets late, the penalty will not be on the child. The penalty will be on the school transport system and the driver plying the bus. But if it is a child who's coming as a walker or a parent is dropping, even 2 minutes delay, even a minute's delay is not allowed. The school bell rings, the assembly starts at 7 a.m., child should be seated in the classroom. In case it is a delay on account of the transport department of the school, I will not be penalizing my child, I will be penalizing the transport department then. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
A very ironic question. While we are pretty ecstatic that we are joining PJK, still in the road.
Okay.
Sorry, here.
Yes, sir.
So, with regards to curriculum and other procedure, how seamless is the relocation process? Just in case for parents, like we have many who've come here from other locations.
Okay.
Many of us eventually, or throughout
Move out on transfers. Sir, Pan India, Podar has quite a lot of schools. If you look at Ahmedabad, there in Gujarat we have 3 schools there. In Pune we have 6 schools. So if it is from one Podar to another Podar, it is an internal transfer. You need to find out from the other Podar wherever you are moving. Podar right now is moved up to Indore, Bhopal, that side. It's not gone beyond that. Maybe by the time you are ready to move, we might move up to Delhi as well. So in that case, you need to first approach that school, whichever state you are moving to find out whether there is a vacancy. The principal says yes. Then you come back to the school and apply for an internal transfer. There is an internal transfer letter which is readied. We pass on the information and the child moves there. Since Pan India CBSE schools are very much available, it is now that Mumbai has started loving CBSE. It is still loving ICSE more towards that side. So it is very easy to make a transition in CBSE to CBSE or any other board. You will be able to easily find schools. And if it's a Podar school, you can have an internal transfer.
No, that would be our first preference, Podar to Podar, like you mentioned. However, Podar to a non-Podar, maybe proximity to the school, maybe no school.
Any school, sir. I am getting children from all over. I am getting ICSE as well. So there is no such restriction. It is easier to move within a board for the child to make a transition. Let's not look into 10 years from now. Your child is just first or second. Any board is okay, encouraged as long as learning is happening. When they make a transition from one board to other also, it's not a problem. Finding admissions, again, availability of seat is all which is required. There is no such thing as failing or passing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. My kid comes from PJK.
Okay.
One issue we faced in PJK was in one term, 3 class teachers were changed. And literally, I mean.
Okay. I would like to share my latest attrition rate. I have a very strong team of 91 people, including me. And the school is currently having 49 sections, morning, afternoon included. We have just bid farewell to only 4 teachers in the entire academic session. That tells the story as what is the attrition rate. But yes, there are cases wherein there is something called indiscipline, or something like touching a child, zero tolerance policy, we'll be the first one to terminate the person from the school. So in those cases, if it's an unforeseen circumstance, generally, I shouldn't be patting my own back. My teachers are very happy with me. So we don't see much movement happening. Unless they are going, blessed school, they go on maternity leaves, they do come back. That also happens. But then movement of teachers leaving midterm is, so far only 4 have gone. That too towards the end of the academic session.
Okay, hopefully that continues this year as well.
Keeping my fingers and toes crossed, sir.
Okay, last question.
I'm growing up to 134 now. So
Sure.
my staff strength is also growing with that.
Sure, last question. How do you allocate these grades, the 1A, 1B? Like, is there a logic or?
Sir, there are 5 or 6 criteria which are taken into account when we do the section allocation. Your children have come to us from PJK. My teachers have sat with the PJK teachers for 3 days to find out what is what. In case there is a medical case, there is a case where there are identical twins which are emotionally also linked to each other, then the parent would have requested to keep them in the same section. Or if it is a case like the child has been extremely naughty and the other child in the class is also there, where 2 together, are going to be too much for the teacher, we come to know from the section and we just move them to different sections. The boy-girl ratio is very, very important, that equal number of boys and girls, and then we will be allotting the houses. The school has 4 different houses. So section by, there is no change of section. All the sections, we are going to have 7 sections in the morning shift and 5 in the afternoon, are all homogeneous. There is no this thing as it is a graded section, no. Whether your child sits in A or sits in G, they are all going to be equal, because when I said uniform transaction of curriculum which comes from PIC, it is not teacher friendly or teacher adaptable. It is student friendly, student adaptability. So whoever comes in new also has to adapt to that system. So there is no such grading that section A is, by default all of you on your fee receipt has got an A, because the fee receipt does not allot sections. Sections are allotted by the teachers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One question regarding the uniform. Is the bag part of the uniform or kid can use his own bags?
There There is a bag available online.
Yeah.
Choice is yours. We are not insisting on those.
So yeah, though that color-coded bag is not part of the uniform, no?
Sir, that's what I said. That's an optional extra things. That is why it says school, shop, online, everything. If you already have a bag, please do not give them strollers. They are not coming here for a camping. I've seen children coming with a trolley bag and all. Do not. They need to climb up the stairs. Who will carry the strollers? Anything, sir. Bag is your choice. That will be the last question, ma'am.
Ma'am, for walk-in kids, like in Jumbo Kids, we had an identity card for the parents.
We will be, ma'am. Yes,
method?
there is a chaperone card which will be given. 2 photographs allowed only, and only those 2 parents will be handed over the child. Maybe it your maid or you or the grandmother. There will not be 6 photographs on that. First day, we will know whether the child, we will fill up that. School transport, yes, no, everything. Once that is done, a chaperone card is given. Transport children will carry the transport card. Walkers and private van, even the private van, Didi or driver's photograph will be submitted to school for stamping. The child will be handed over only to that person. If somebody else comes, the child stays in school. We call, you come and pick it up.
And when does this card get handed over? Because the school is starting on the 6th.
Pardon, ma'am?
When does this card get handed over? Because the school is starting on the 6th.
So card, ma'am, on the first day itself, we will be giving a card for the child, put it in the bag and tell them, take it home, get it filled up. So first day itself, the card will be passed on.
And the first day for walking?
Ma'am, if you are carrying your PJK card, that will be easier for us, because it takes at least 3 days. We keep on telling the parents, please send the card. Slow and steady wins the race till by the time summer vacations will come. So those who are in-house parents, please carry your card. The child will be any which ways wearing a temporary ID card.
And because my child is in the afternoon shift, so when is he allowed to get into the school?
Ma'am, 12:30. So between 12:15 to 12:30 is the dispersal of the morning. When the parents are bringing in, 12:30 we'll allow, because the first day you can accompany the child to the class. 12:30 you can bring them in. After first 2 days, the children of the afternoon shift are lined up. One line of morning comes out, the afternoon goes in.
Okay, so 12:30 the child has to be at the gate.
12:30 the child will be in the classroom. So between 12:15 to 12:30 they start moving to the class.
Okay, and just one more question, ma'am. For between us, I haven't got a login or anything. How do I facilitate that? Is there a customer care?
Ma'am, are you an old parent?
Yes, yes.
1 minute. I am surprised that you've not been promoted. Your child finished the graduation?
Yeah.
So they would have been automatically promoted to first standard if they are coming to CBSE. If they've been promoted, the same between us ID what you're having is what you have to use. Is there a change? No.
No, it's not working, ma'am. We are not getting any emails. Okay. It's not working.
So, fine. I will ensure that within the next 2 working days, you people are inducted and you receive the your email IDs which are there with us. We will give you a link for the between us. Devendra sir. Yeah.
And
also, I think by today, I get this information that there will be a video which will be uploaded on that online sale of books and uniform, telling you how to do the sizing. So if you looked at that video, how to use the website as well as the sizing, I think it's mentioned there. So please log in and check again, look at the video, it will help you to estimate the size of your child.
And ma'am, sorry, last question please. If the child is on sick leave, and of course we will give a doctor's certificate, but the learning that the child misses, how does the parent kind of help with that?
Ma'am, that's what I'm saying. At the end of every month, we will be sending you. And generally, there is not much drastic learning which is going to be missed out 1 or 2 days odd. But when you get the home assignments and all, you will come to know that what portions have been covered. In case your child has been on leave for a long time, 5-6 days, put a diary note or send a between us. Teacher will give you an appointment. Come and meet the teacher. Most probably on Saturdays they are free, because Saturday is the only day when the kids are not there and all the shift teachers are available. She will guide you through what you have missed out.
Okay. And
ma'am, first day you come up, Any first standard what is tagged there, get your child seated.
If the parent is not accompanying the child, ma'am, I am a senior PJK's parent, so what
Fine.
happens then?
So when your children are getting down from the bus, our teachers will line them up and take them upstairs. We'll get them seated in the room. Once all the parents leave the campus in 10 minutes, then we will allot them the sections. So the ID cards are ready with the names. I just need to put the sections and everything. Even that has been ready. I need to see the child to give the ID card.
Okay. And second small question is about we are working parents, ma'am. So just wanted to understand the frequency of home assessments for class 1, please.
Ma'am, just now I told it's a continuous assessment. It goes on in the classroom throughout.
Home assessment.
There isn't a home assignment generally, very rarely. Every week one book might come with 1 page to be done.
Okay.
Not much.
Thank you.
Ma'am, do they shuffle?
No, please send only a tiffin box, something light to eat, an empty bottle. School has perfectly RO fitted plant, so water is there, normal water is there. Send a napkin, send an ID for something for the identification.
Sorry, ma'am. Get shuffled every year.
Just a generic observation that I have. Basically, I have seen a lot of my friends in my society.
Parents, can we please be seated? I think we need to do a proper closure. I need to thank you people for coming.
So it's a generic observation because I've seen in my society whenever I've asked my friends and I see them quite burdened. When I ask them, they say that there's some science project which is going on in the school, maybe for class 1 student, class 2 students, and I find them doing the science
Parents
projects.
doing the project?
Yeah.
Don't worry. Nobody is going to do the project at home. Don't worry at all, sir.
Thank you so much.
Fine.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request our Vice Principal, Mrs. Jyoti Sharma, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Lakshmi. I, on behalf of Podar International School CBSE Powai, would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all those who are a part of today's event. To begin with, my sincere thanks to our principal, Ms. Rachana Lakshmi Narayanan, to have enlightened the audience with the PIS and the CBSE way of learning. I thank the Megarugis management, school admin department, the transport department, the IT department, teaching and non-teaching staff for their support. Thank you, dear parents, for your presence here today, which clearly indicates that you are equally eager to be a part of PIS. Hope you get a fair idea of the CBSE and PIS way of learning. Thank you and have a nice day.